Hello there and welcome back to International Fathers. I'm your host and your creator, Nelson Moody Sr. Well, we're still talking about fathers because I believe that we had great fathers all around the world, out there in YouTube land as well as all four corners of the globe. And with that in mind, we're going to jump right into the question phase with my guest here on today's show. What was it like with you? Did you have a father in your life growing up?
A little bit. My mother and father split when I was about 3 years old. Came back into my life when I was about 15, 16 years old. Um, it wasn't a great relationship. We had a few good times, and um, a lot of turmoil, I guess.
Okay.
Not like anything physical.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just I guess from him being away for so long,
Mm-hmm.
it was really tough for me
Right.
to have somebody to come back into my life after all those years
Mm-hmm.
and uh, wanting to be a father, I guess, or even I can't even say wanting. It's not like he. There was times where he tried or whatever, but it was really just me and my mother for the greatest part of my life.
Okay.
But uh, you know, I stayed with him for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
My mother didn't really want me to go, but she knew that I had to find out what it was like for myself, I guess.
Okay.
And I did,
Hmm.
and it was
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it wasn't the greatest.
Mm.
It was just I would say Tom and Jerry. You
Oh
know,
wow.
and that was his name. It was just Tom and
Okay.
Jerry. My
Okay.
name's Tom, and
Okay.
it was just two people
Mm-hmm.
being together. I guess
Okay.
tough times, hard times, and like I said, there was a few good times. I don't think he ever. I don't think there was ever one time where he was, I'm proud of you or anything like that, or
Mm.
Um, matter of fact, one of the last times I had talked to him, I, he told me, that I grew up to be nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's why I got this tattoo that says nothing on it.
Tattoo says nothing on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So kind of like the pot calling the kettle black. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay.
And I knew from that point, well, actually, way before my
Mm-hmm.
daughter was born, I was never going to do what he did to me, to my children.
Right.
I would be there for my children.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, and when I had my daughter, Christina,
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, I was maybe overprotective.
Overprotective.
Yeah.
That's how we are.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you know, she knows now that it wasn't like I
Mm-hmm.
was doing it to be spiteful,
Okay.
but for protection. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there's a lot of knuckleheads out in this world,
A
and
bunch of knuckleheads. A bunch of them.
exactly. And yeah, I just didn't want her to be exposed to that. I guess
Okay.
So I she was always in my life. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, even when me and her mother split,
Okay.
she stayed with me. Um, you know, so it's it was good. It was really good.
Okay.
I wanted, like I said, I always wanted to be there for her.
Mm-hmm.
Still am. Still
Okay.
talk.
Okay.
So she's living with her boyfriend right now.
Okay.
Being a happy family, I guess.
Okay.
He's a good kid.
Okay.
And he's got a little son actually,
Okay.
and not it, Christina would be like the step parent.
Okay. Got
Um,
you.
but
Mm-hmm.
it's yeah, I guess it's a lot for her to deal with. You know, I guess it's a lot for anybody to deal with in their early 20s.
Yeah,
You know,
it is.
So even she's been dating him for 4 years now, I think it is. So she, you know, she was with him from the beginning, I guess, when the child was little.
Okay.
You know, so um, she's doing good. I mean, you know, it's definitely family. You know, so I'm proud of her for that. I'm proud of, you know, that's a big step for anybody at that young age.
Oh, know? It is. It is.
And plus
definitely.
going to school and working, you know, so it's it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with, but you know.
Proud dad.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And especially when she graduated. When she graduated high school, she's still in college. You know. Yeah. I didn't think for a little while there, I didn't think I was going to get her through high school. You know, but she straightened up and you know, on a roll and everything, and she graduated, and yeah, I was very happy.
A happy camper.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. You said a whole lot in the opening conversation here. Let's go back some and talk about what was your life like without your father. But before you answer that question, you said from 3 to 15 years old.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, he was not there. No contact.
No contact, not in your life whatsoever.
No.
So, what was it like, if you remember, the young part of it, and then the teenage part of it?
The young part was a lot of crying.
A lot of crying.
A lot of crying. Where's my dad? Why is he around? What did I do? You know, things like that. You know, I had a lot of buddies growing up. I had a lot of friends. You know, and you know, I remember times where people would be like, "Oh, you know, I'm mad at my father, or I hate my father. I can't stand him." And it's like, you know, hey, at least you got a father.
You got one,
right? You know, where's mine? So you know, it was you know, it was tough.
It was tough.
Yeah, it was tough, and you know, I'm sure it was. I know it was tough for my mother. You know, you know, probably seeing me. I remember her telling me, you know, there was times where he would tell me that he was coming to. I mean, I don't personally remember, but my mother telling me.
Okay, right.
He would tell me that I'm coming to pick you up. You know, we're gonna spend the night or whatever. He'd never show up. You know, and my mother said, you know, for hours I would sit outside waiting for him. You know, and you know, and then end up crying all night long, or crying myself to sleep or whatever. You know, you know. And I guess it's a good thing I don't remember that kind of stuff.
Right. So you being this child, father making promises to you. You outside, inside, crying. My dad is going to show up. My dad's going to show up. And crying yourself to sleep. So we're going to fast forward this to your teenage years, because I'm quite sure that it was different.
Very different.
Such as?
A lot of anger. A lot of hate. A lot of couldn't stand authority.
Okay.
You know, even when, you know, like my uncle. My uncle Dave Shipwreck. You know, he tried to step up a lot of the times. You know.
Okay.
And me being me, and I just didn't want none of it.
Okay.
You know. Okay. Yeah, I hear you. That kind of stuff. Whatever. You know. And,
okay.
I don't know. It was tough. You know, it was tough. You know, my grandfather lived with me
Okay.
and my mother, and it was me, my mother, and my grandfather and Uncle Jim,
Okay.
my Uncle Jim. You know, all the way up until 1990 when my grandfather passed away. You know,
Okay.
um, I think I got a lot of my work ethic
Mhm.
from him,
From your grandfather.
from my grandfather.
Okay.
Yes, you know, I think he worked up until he was 72.
Okay.
You know, and World War II veteran.
Okay.
You know, but he, yeah, I think he played a big
Big
role.
role.
Now that I look back at it, you know what I
Mhm.
mean. I
Mhm.
think he played more of a role in my life than I realized.
Okay.
You know, my uncle was there.
Mhm.
Um, uh, he helped a lot. My uncle helped a lot too.
Okay.
You know, you know, my mother. You know, my mother. It
Okay.
was a dual role. You know,
Mhm.
uh, a
And
lot
that was
of
by force.
I, yeah,
She had to play those roles.
exactly, absolutely.
Okay.
You know, she had to be the mother and the dad. You know,
Okay.
and she had to be hard.
Okay.
You know, when I needed it.
Okay.
Or you know, and she had to be the mother. You know, she
Okay.
plus she was the you know the provider. You know,
Okay.
putting food on the table and you know, I mean my uncle too. You know,
Mhm.
don't get me wrong. Well, and my grandfather. You know,
Okay.
but you know, it was just that. Where's dad? You know,
Okay.
it was like that for quite a long time. You know, and
Wow.
um, you know, I think only probably recently over the past maybe 5 years that I've
Okay.
actually kind of let it go.
Mhm.
Let him stop thinking about him.
Mhm.
You know, he passed away in 2000,
Okay.
um, and that was you know a whole big to do in itself. You know, he
Okay.
committed suicide,
Okay.
um, and you know I think that was a cowardly act.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
I There's nothing wrong with him physically.
Okay.
You know, he could work. I even let him stay with me. You know, at one point in time, he stayed with me for a little while.
Mhm.
My mother didn't want it.
Okay.
You know, she was kind of against it. You know,
Okay.
but you know, it was like you know, he had a job opportunity.
Okay.
Okay, and he stayed with me for a couple weeks,
Mhm.
and then it was you know, one morning I got up, get ready to work, sitting there drinking coffee. He was sitting there drinking coffee, and he's
Mhm.
like, you know, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm like, what do you mean? You know,
Okay.
and I can't do this. I'm not gonna be able to make it. You know, I mean, my grandmother handed him everything.
Mm.
You know, I mean, pretty much took care of him all his life.
Okay.
And you know, he had money for a place. He didn't have money for furniture, and
Mhm.
you know, it was like, Dad, take what I got. You know,
Okay.
I got stuff extra.
Okay.
Take it. You know,
Mhm.
go do what you got to do.
Okay.
And at that point in time, when I came home from work, he was gone. The stuff was packed up,
Mhm.
and I knew he went back home to live
Okay.
with my grandmother.
Okay.
And at that point in time, I lost respect for him. You know, I
Okay.
lost a lot of respect for him
Okay.
because he didn't man up. He
Okay.
didn't go do what he had to do. You know,
As a man, as a father.
right? You know, but you know, for whatever reason is, or and we didn't talk.
Okay.
I mean, we didn't talk. So I can't really speculate as to why
Mhm.
these, you know,
Okay.
these things happen. But it is what it is. He
Okay.
did what he did, and um, now it's, like I said, we had a big falling out,
Mhm.
and he called me up, and like I said, I told you we got to this big argument,
Mhm.
and and that was pretty much the last time I talked to him, and I think that was around
Mhm.
uh, early, late '99 maybe.
Okay.
Um, I was working for myself, and I had my mother said that he got in kind of, I was at work, and
Okay.
um, my mother said he called her and wanted to come up for the holidays and everything and blah blah blah.
Mhm.
I'm like, whatever,
Okay.
that's cool,
Okay.
And then it was like, in the same breath, it was like, you know what, no,
Okay.
you know,
Stay away from it.
exactly.
Okay.
You weren't a dad, you were
Okay.
just a being,
Okay.
and it was like, it'll be it'll be a long time before I talk to him again,
Mhm.
and I think it was the following couple days later or something. I was at work,
Mhm.
and Iran County Police left a note on my door,
Okay.
and my mother saw the note, called me, said, this is in regards to your father,
Mhm.
and I said to us, well, he's either dead or he's in jail,
Okay.
there's only two options,
Okay.
so, and he was dead, so,
Wow.
yeah, but I can't say I ever lost any sleep over it, never shed a tear about it, and
Mhm.
it was, I just, I don't know,
Wow.
I didn't, I guess that was because of everything that was happened,
Mhm.
or was done, or if you can't miss what you never had,
No, you
you know.
can't. No, you can't.
So I mean,
Mhm.
I didn't miss it,
Mm.
and I had a lot of friends say to me, hey man, how you doing? You doing all right? And I was like, it is what it is.
I was the same way.
Yeah.
Um, I often tell people, and you said it yourself, that when fathers are not there for sons,
Mhm.
we're angry.
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
and out there in YouTube land, you know that I like to also teach as well as doing interviews. But when a father does this to his son, sons hate. Sons develop anger problems. And when that son gets old enough, say 14, 15 years old, that son will challenge that father.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There was a lot of challenging.
Okay?
Yeah, there was a lot of challenging between me and him.
And there's no respect there.
No, there wasn't. I mean, I kind of, you know, because I was staying with my grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and my father was living there,
Okay.
you know. I didn't. There wasn't. There was, arguing, that
Mm-hmm.
kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing. Like I said, nothing ever physical.
Mm-hmm.
Although I can tell you, I really wanted something to be physical, a
Wow.
couple times, but it was, you know, I think we got into a shoving match once,
Mm-hmm.
but that was about it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it was over his authority, you're not going,
Okay.
you're not going out. And I'm like, says who,
Okay.
you know,
Okay. Okay.
when did you become a father? When did you become a dad?
Right.
You know,
Okay.
so, but yeah, I kind of got into a little bit of a shoving match,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was just like, all right, you know,
Okay.
you win. You know what I mean?
Okay. Just because you're dad.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Um, but You know, other than that, you know, it was just no respect.
Okay.
Like you said, it was,
Okay.
you know, even I guess even now, even to this day, there's still no respect. There was no respect. I had more respect for my grandfather than what I had for my father. You know, I had more respect for my best friend's father than I had for my father. You know? You know?
If you are a father out there listening to my guest, of the respect that he didn't have for his father because of his father not being in his life, and the anger that developed within that, please pay attention. Be a part of your son's life. That way, that someone grew up to hate you and be angry, because as I've always said, that sons handle it differently than girls. Girls will go searching for love in the wrong places, but them sons will challenge their father. And in some instances, I know scuffling happens, fighting, and somebody can get killed. So if you're that dad out there, stop. Effective today. Before this interview is over, stop. Connect with that son.
Absolutely. Yeah, you said that sons would challenge our fathers, and you know, absolutely. You know, I did it.
And you're that proof.
Yeah, I did it. I would challenge him. I would challenge my mother. You know, because my mother was my father. You know, and but like I said, there was, you know, there was a lot more respect for my mother, a lot more love for my mother, than there ever was for my father. You know, you know, even when I graduated high school, or you know, here's a perfect example. You know, I told him, you know, when my daughter was going to be born. You know, I said, "Hey, Dad, you're going to be a grandfather." You know, and I was an idiot, and then, you know, and all kind of other choice names, and you know, it's like, you know, so you know, he didn't even really pay attention to my daughter either. Never did he, you know, want to have an afternoon, or you know, he's just there again. You know, he was doing the same thing to her that he did to me.
Repeating the cycle.
Exactly. Yep. And you know, it was just, you know, you're there, she's there. It was never, you know, let's go out and be, you know, the family unit. Let's go out and do something as a family. You know, it was never. I mean, never nothing like that. And excuse me 1 second. Somebody's on the back porch here. Did you see that?
Well, again, my guest talked about the angriness. What was it like in school?
Schools. School was a place to meet people. You know, I didn't care for school. I actually, there was a point, I think probably around 9th grade, 10th grade, I wanted to be done with it. I wanted to get out to the working world, you know, or even just party, you know.
Now, was this because of your father not being there?
Probably. You know, the more that I think about it, probably. You know, there was never that, you know, that discipline, you know, that sometimes a boy needs, you know. Although my mother tried, you know, it was just, you know, a lot of defiance, you know, a lot of, you know, I'm going to do what I want, you know. But then again, there was a lot of, you know, I respected what she wanted, you know.
Okay.
I didn't want to cause trouble for her. I didn't want to cause, you know, problems for her or anything like that. But there was, you know, like I said, there was a lot of defiance. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, up top steps. Good. Right up top steps, bud. Come on, I'll show you. Excuse me 1 second. Right here.
Yes, but my guess, as I stated a number of times, of how sons are towards their fathers in an anger issue. If you're that father out there, spend time with that son so that he won't have a chance to develop anger towards you, and nurture that relationship so that it can be healthy, not just for you but for the both of you. And then something else that may trigger from that can be a grandchild or even grandchildren. But always remember that that son is watching you. Your daughter is watching you also as well. Their dad. And you must set an example for your children so that they can be the best that they can be. You can't waver back and forth. And you can't just sit there and just not do nothing. You have to engage in that child's life, which a lot of us fathers do. However, when you got that one that's not involved, such as my guest father, who just wasn't there for him emotionally, mentally, psychologically, you know, then these type of things happen. Not once, not twice, but 3 and 4 times. You know, there comes a time to where, as though, you know, you must just get down and just stay there for the sake of that child or children. Because if not, in the long run, the child is going to suffer.
Child's always suffering.
and you were saying about the school.
School, yeah, it was a happening time. You know, it was a lot of partying, a lot of good times at school. You know,
Okay.
I think that was more of a release.
Okay.
You know,
A comfort zone type
yeah,
stuff?
yeah, kind of. Yeah, well, being around friends.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
had some really good friends. A lot of great friends. You know, Mike Becker was probably my best friend, still is.
Okay.
You know, a lot of connection there. You know,
Okay.
a lot of the same things.
Okay.
Oh, you know, that was the father I was talking about earlier. Was his father.
Gotcha.
You
Okay.
know, I had more respect for him than I did for my own father.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
great man.
Okay.
Great man. Warren Becker.
Is he still alive?
No, he
Okay.
passed away of cancer.
Okay.
You know, that
Mhm.
was a tough day.
Okay.
I cried for him,
Mhm.
for my buddy,
Mhm.
because I knew what he was gonna miss.
Mm.
You know, I knew him and his father were,
Okay.
you know, great.
Okay.
You know, Miss Karen, she was,
Okay.
Mr. Warren was her life. You know,
Okay.
and I knew
Mm.
what they were gonna face.
Okay.
and it was very hard, and
Mhm.
you know, it was tough. It was tough. It was tough
Okay.
to when your dad's, and you know,
Hmm.
much respect for that man,
Okay.
for the for that whole family, you know.
Now you mentioned something earlier. Um, the friends who were saying to you, "Oh, my dad is hard. He do this, he
Yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
that,"
Hmm.
and then you looking at them like you said, "Well, at least you have a father."
Right, exactly. Yeah.
When when his father passed away, did all that come back to you?
Uh, I don't know about. I guess maybe, you know. I
Okay.
guess, you know, like I said, it was just more of I had more respect for that man, like I said, than
Okay.
my own father, and I knew that it was going to be very hard
Mhm.
for Miss Karen, Mike,
Okay.
Brian,
Okay.
and everybody involved,
Okay.
and I just it was tough, you know. It
Okay.
was I knew what Brian and Mike were going to lose, or what they had lost. You know, I knew what Miss
Okay.
Karen had lost,
Okay.
and you know, it was hard. You know, it was very hard for them. You know, and I think time heals.
All wounds.
Yeah.
Yes. Proven.
Yes. And
And there's light at the end of every tunnel.
yeah. And I think you know, Mike had a son, Austin,
Mhm.
and I know Mr. Warner was a proud grandfather. You know,
Hmm.
you know, and Miss Karen was a proud grandmother. You know, and Brian, Mike's brother, who, you know, was a proud uncle. You know,
Mhm.
and uh, yeah, it was tough, man. You know,
Hmm.
you know, and,
Fast forwarded, because you mentioned this earlier.
mhm.
Um, what was it like for you when you became a father for the very first time?
uh, yeah, that was like wow,
Wow.
I'm a dad.
And a girl.
Yeah, and a girl.
Okay.
Yes. My daughter had said to me one time, a couple years ago, or
Hmm.
you know, a little bit, probably when she was 17, 18 years old.
Mhm.
You wouldn't be like this if I was a boy. I said, no, you're absolutely right. I said, because I would only have to have one boy to worry about, not all the boys.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
But yeah, she was she's my baby. You know, she's always going to
Mhm.
be my baby. You know,
Right.
um, you know. She's 22 now.
Mhm.
Uh, you know, college,
Mhm.
family, um, work.
I've
You
seen
know.
her before on Facebook. She's a
Uh,
beautiful girl.
Thank you. Yeah, she's awesome.
Uh huh.
You know, but I think we have great times when we're together. You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
I miss her a lot. You know,
Okay.
I miss her all the time. You know, when you know she doing her own thing. You know, being her own
Yep.
person. You know, and it's going to happen. You know, for anybody out there, you know, your children grow
Mhm.
and they become their own person, be it boy or girl. But you know, she was my first love. You know,
Mm.
I mean, my daughter is, you know, yeah, she's she means a lot to me. You know, yeah, she very proud when she graduated. Very proud of things that she's
Mhm.
done. You know, things that she's doing.
Mhm.
Um, you know, she's my baby. You know,
And she's been with you most of her life.
All her life, yeah.
All her life.
All her life, yeah. I fought for that. Even when me and her mother split up, I fought for that. You know,
Hmm.
you know, there was a lot of arguing between me and her mother,
Okay.
which, you know, we were young,
Okay.
and you know, I won't argue anymore. I mean, I don't want to argue anymore.
No.
If two people can't sit down like grown adults and talk,
Hmm.
then there's no need for
To be together.
right. You know, in my opinion.
Mine too.
You know, my opinion. You know, if all you do is fight and argue in front of your kids,
Hmm.
it's bad, man.
Yeah.
That's a bad scene.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Um, I don't. I did it.
Hmm.
I don't condone it now.
Right.
You know, I don't want to do it now.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, you know, I don't get that mentality. I just, you know, if you can't sit down and work out your problems, then go.
Leave. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
There's no reason to hit people. There's no reason
No,
to shove
never.
people. You know, there's no reason to do any of that.
No.
You know.
No.
And I will never understand that mentality where a guy will beat on a woman. I will never understand that.
I tell my sons always to just walk away
Exactly.
because you never see me hit your mother. Walk away.
Right.
It's easy.
Right. Yeah. Right. If we can't sit down
Hmm.
and say, hey, what's wrong?
Okay.
You know, talk to me.
Okay.
You know, then what's the point?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
If all you can do is scream and holler
Hmm.
and curse or whatever or threaten, you know,
Hmm.
it's not worth it. You know,
Senseless.
right? And I don't care how many years you got. You know, I don't care how many years people are together.
No. I
You know.
second that.
You know, yeah, you know, it's tough. You know, I mean,
Hmm.
relationships are tough. And,
Yeah.
be an adult about it. If you know,
Hmm.
if you can't, make it, you can't make it.
Can't
Move
make it.
on.
Can't make it.
You know, move on.
Other fish in the sea.
Absolutely.
um, let's talk about you have a second child, which is a son. Um,
James, named
Okay.
him after my grandfather.
okay. Because your grandfather was the most influential man in your life,
Absolutely.
and you want to keep that name going
Absolutely.
on. Okay.
James Michael Mackbee. James Joseph Michael.
Let's talk about your son.
My son. Hmm.
Handsome little dude.
Yeah, he's a little
Mhm.
guy. He was full of energy. Full of
Mhm.
energy. He's missing in action, I guess,
Okay.
right now. I haven't seen him for over 4 years, I guess. About 4 years, maybe something like that. I haven't talked to him.
Okay.
I haven't seen him. Haven't talked to him. Haven't heard from him. It's heartbreaking every day. Every day's a new beginning, I guess. You know, nothing's nothing's been right with that. You know,
It's been 4 years since you seen your son.
yeah,
Heartbreaking.
very
Long nights.
a lot of A lot of long nights, a lot of tossing, turning, a lot of feeling helpless, a lot of feeling like a failure. Um, you know,
Why would you say feeling like a failure?
because I'm not there.
You're not there. Okay.
You know, and it's not by my doing.
No.
You know, let's make that clear right now.
Okay.
It's not by my doing, and you know, that hurts. You
Okay.
know, um, I want to be there. I want to be. I want to come home. I want to, do homework. I want to
Okay.
go out on the
Mhm.
weekends. I want to tuck him in. I want to,
Mhm.
I want to be a dad again. I mean, it's not that,
You always a dad.
Right, right. I want to be a part of his life. I want
Mhm.
to be, uh, you know, it's tough, man. It's tough every day. Uh, you know,
4 years ago,
yeah. It was,
Baltimore, Maryland.
yeah,
Here,
yeah. It
the
was,
last time you saw him.
yeah. It was a scheduled visit. You know, um, you know, my summer visit,
Okay.
and I talked to him a couple times afterwards. But then, you know, here's he had wanted to take this helicopter home.
Okay.
Okay, and I know this is going to sound kind of petty or whatever,
Okay.
but it was over a toy, and I packed it up. Everything went with him. Whatever toys he wanted that
Okay.
were here, you know,
Okay.
went with him to Texas.
Okay.
Um, and on the phone, whatever happened to that toy, you know, his mother kept telling him that I was lying to him.
Okay.
And now here's a 5-year-old
Okay.
telling me I'm a liar. Mommy says you're lying. That's not right, Daddy. This and that.
Okay.
Uh, you know, how do you how do you deal with that? All I could do was tell him, James, I'm not lying to you.
Mhm.
Daddy packed it. I don't know what happened. I'm not there. I can't tell you what happened.
Okay.
Daddy's not gonna lie to you. Daddy will never lie to you. But she, you know, she just put that in his head.
Okay.
And that happened a couple times. I would talk to him, and it's, you know, you know,
So, besides work, besides doing, I guess, other things in life, my guest is into construction, and the wall that you see behind us is a bare brick wall that he remodeled his house with. Um, this is some of his work. Um, what else do you do to just to get your mind off of? Because it's a daily thing.
uh, you know, pretty much just work.
Okay.
I go out hunt. Me and a couple guys, we go hunting. Got a good buddy. I go
Mhm.
hunting with all the time.
Okay.
Friends. Talking with friends.
Okay.
Um, keeps my. I. This is hard to say, but I've had to put him out of my mind. You know,
Mm.
because I feel like I'll go insane.
Mm.
Or I can't think about him. Because it's so hard. There's been time, and I'll tell you what, like around Thanksgiving
Mhm.
till like February, I'll be down.
Okay.
You know, around the holidays, I get so down because, you know, I'm not there with him. I'm not there. I'm not a part of his life, you know, and, you know, she probably feels like she wins, you know, but maybe that's what she wants, you know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why she's so spiteful. I don't know why she says the things she says. You know, it's sad.
Only she knows that.
Yeah, it's sad, you know, and you know, maybe one day I'll get my chance. You know.
Do you know of any address in Texas? Any last known addresses?
I think it was 209 Claire Drive, San Marcos, Texas. I'm not really sure the zip code.
Could you say that one more time slowly so our listeners can hear this?
It's 209 Claire Drive, San Marcos, Texas. That's was the last known address I had for him.
Okay. If anybody that is watching this interview is from San Marcos, Texas, my guest son's last known address was 209 Claire Drive. If you know the whereabouts, my guest just wants to just connect with his son. That's all. Connect with his son. And you can contact International Fathers on YouTube. Just type in Nelson L. Moody Sr., that's SR. Leave a comment on this video. But most importantly, give us some information to where as though my guest, Tom Mackbee, can have a chance to see his son, to talk to his son, to hold his son, to pray with his son, to make silly faces with his son, just to take pictures with his son.
Yeah.
Anything.
You can see on my Facebook page, there's a folder I have of him, you know, where some of the time, you know, because I've had like 5 visits with him since 2006. Yeah, 2006. November of 2006, she had ran off while I was at work. I come home, everything was gone. He was gone, she was gone, which, you know, I knew we were on the outs anyway. But I didn't expect it to be like that.
Okay.
You know, and I had to go to her sister to find out where she was, and she told me. You know, so the following day I went down to the courthouse and filed emergency paperwork. You know, emergency jurisdiction, and then it all went downhill from there because the courts sure do not help. And
I'm a witness to that.
yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there. Oh, you know, let me say this. I thought it was only happening to me. I was the only one until I connected on Facebook with some of the guys and some of the fathers. With you, a lot of this happens. You know, a lot of guys are railroaded.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
And it's sad. You know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know there's knuckleheads out there. You know, I know there's guys out there that don't care. You know, whatever. You know, don't want to be a dad, but I ain't one of them.
Okay.
You know. And it's, like I said, it's difficult. It's very hard. It's very. There's, you know, a lot of hurt, a lot of anger again, you know. And like I said, I felt like a failure. I feel like a failure because, you know, I didn't want to be to him what my father did to me. And although it's not my fault, that's how I feel. You know, I mean, I don't even know where the child support check goes to. It goes to a P.O. box in Texas somewhere. And, you know, it's, you know, a joke. I don't see, you know, how these courts or, they call it, you know, justice. Yeah.
Injustice.
Yeah. A lot of injustice, a lot of, you know.
My guest mentioned being on Facebook. Again, 209 Claire Drive, San Marco, Texas, was the last known address for his son. You can go to his Facebook page and just look at his son's picture. Not just contact YouTube through this interview, but also you can contact him on his Facebook page at Tom Mackbee.
Yeah.
That's Tom, common spelling, Mackbee,
CK
Mackbee. Tom, talk to your son.
I miss you. I miss you, buddy. I miss you a lot. I miss you every day. There's not a day that goes by that Daddy doesn't think about you or Daddy doesn't want to be a part of your life. You know, whatever is being told to you, I can tell you it's not the truth. I'm here. I always will be here. And I just want to be your dad again. I want to be in your life. I want to be, you know, tucking you in at night. I want to be coming home to you after school. I want to throw the ball around. I want to do everything. I want to guide you. I want to be your buddy. I want to be, you know, your friend. And I want to be your dad. One of these days we'll get together again. And you'll know the truth. And why this is being done to you, I don't know. And you know, I really feel sad that it's happened to you. You know, it's not that I wanted it. You know, I want to be there for you, buddy. I want to be there every day. There's not a day that goes by I don't think about you. I love you, and I always will.
Oprah Winfrey, if you're watching this video, or if anybody else know of Oprah, please have my guest, a guest on your show. I'm Nelson Moody Sr. This has been International Fathers. Fathers, call those children. Children, call those fathers. Fathers, hug those children. Hug them. And children, hug those fathers. Until next time.